Welcome back to Punch Drunk Nerd, the podcast where three friends, three amigos, three bambinos come together to talk about nerd shit. Tonight, I'm your host, Miguel Sanchez. With me is
Ed Bull.
Luis Gonzalez.
Together at the same time.
What audacity do you think that you go before me? No, I'm just kidding.
The day you don't go first, you go last.
It throws everything off, to be honest. You guys know the drill. We're here to talk about nerd shit. We're going to talk about some news, some coming soon corner, some trailer talk. We got a feature discussion, and then we're going to wrap it up with what we're into. Luis is on the move tonight, you guys, babies. He's working. He's barking like a dog all the way from LA. All right, he's working hard. He's in traffic. He's making this podcast happen. Me and Ed, we're here.
Doing our job.
No, Ed, I would say one of us is, okay?
Ooh.
But we're getting into it tonight. We're going to talk about some silly things. We're going to have a good time. I feel like last week we were really tense, and this week we're just going to be loosey-goosey, okay?
We were tense?
Ed can't even remember the hat he designed, less alone the tense week we had last week. That's good. All right, so I'll tell you what, you guys, much like a mood ring, I'm changing colors, all right? Sometimes I'm mad. Sometimes I'm happy. Sometimes I'm sad. You know who else is kind of a mood ring of themselves?
The Hulk?
No. Good guess, though. Another green creature. It's a big-ass lizard. Ed?
I mean, Godzilla isn't exactly green.
You know what, Ed? Kill yourself. And we're talking about Godzilla X Kong. They're getting a sequel.
Miguel's right, because Godzilla went blue and then pink.
That's right. And he's changing colors again. I actually think that's a different Godzilla that I'm thinking of. But still, Godzilla is coming back with King Kong. They're teaming up again. We got a brand new teaser. I don't know, teaser's a strong word, but we got like a little announcement clip of Godzilla X Kong Supernova. Am I saying that right? Wow, you guys. Luis, you had some pretty strong opinions about this right away.
I don't even remember I had them. I mean, to be honest,
guys, I did not make a mule hat, and you didn't remember having strong feelings towards Godzilla. Okay, we're all in our own little universe here.
Godzilla, Kong, Supernova, they're back at it again, saving the world, except this time it's going to be bigger, badder, and bolder. Hold the champagne, it's just Supernova. You know what? I haven't seen the other Godzilla movie, the one Godzilla X Kong. Will I see it one day? Maybe I will. I hope that it just gets more ridiculous, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Luis, you said basically they jumped the shark with this one. I think that's what you said. That was almost verbatim what you said.
Jump the shark.
Ed, do you know what that means?
You don't know what jump the shark means?
I mean, is it just like jump the gun?
No, not quite. Not quite. Let's see if we can figure it out together, okay?
And so there was a show on Sunday, Monday, Happy Days. And Happy Days, the guy who was like the cool guy, who's also in Barry, the Fonz. The Fonz. So there's an episode like later in the season of Happy Days where the Fonz like is surfing and he literally jumps a shark. And then at some point, people were like, that is the most ridiculous thing this show has ever done.
That could happen.
And so at that point, that started to be a term where when shows turn to a very ridiculous thing, they jump the shark.
They jump the shark.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised you've never heard that phrase before, Ed.
Yeah.
I mean, you're pretty old, so surely someone in your life has said that phrase.
I know all about the TV biz. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you not watch Happy Days growing up on Nick at Night?
Fuck no.
Even if not, I mean, I knew that phrase. I asked Sarah when we hang up on the pod tonight, ask her, hey, do you know what the phrase jump the shark means? And just see what she says, okay?
I'm going to text her right now.
Ask her now. Fine. Yeah, go ahead. While you're thinking about that, Godzilla X Kong, they're coming out with a third one. I just, honestly, guys, the last movie when they were running full speed at that other big-ass gorilla, I just thought, we're done here, okay? But they keep making them. So we'll see how we feel when that one comes out.
You like that. You were excited about it. Like, you loved that last movie.
Yeah, I had a great time, but I also felt like we're done. You know what I mean?
Sarah said, nope.
Baby, we're just getting started. What is Warner Brothers? We are about to enter into the Fast and Furious era of Godzilla. You know what I mean? Like, we are done. We have so many monsters that we need to do and deal with. The fact that we're moving on to Supernova means that we've got at least 2 more movies after this.
Somehow
trilogy.
they'll mesh into the Planet of the Apes franchise.
I love
and
it.
then we'll just see where we go from there.
Add Jurassic World to it. Get Chris Pratt there.
Fuck it, do it. All right, whatever. I'll show up. Ed, here's something you're excited about. Okay, we all know it. Okay.
Yes.
Everyone on this podcast, big Lego fan, but I feel like, and maybe Luis is into this as well. But Ed, come on, baby, this has got to be for you.
Hey.
The Simpsons, Lego is teaming up with the Simpsons again to release the Krusty Burger.
Yeah.
All right, Ed,
highly anticipated.
Tell us about this, Ed.
So they have previously done the Simpsons household, which I proudly own. They also did the Quickie Mart.
Yeah.
I want to say they did the school, but I might be wrong.
You got one of those as a gift one time. What was that?
The house. I proudly own it, and you gave it to me.
There it is.
Yeah.
So you remember some things, okay?
I said
that's
that.
Good.
I proudly own the Simpsons house.
I remember something.
That's good.
But yes, very cool build, and now they're coming out with the Krusty Burger, which
Can you
looks
put
like
them all
a lot of
together?
fun. No,
you can't click them together to make
no. But if you had a whole room to dedicate to it, you could build your own little Springfield.
Is it going to have cheese in it?
Surely, right?
I mean, if there's one thing that goes with Lego, I would have said.
And steamed ham.
So it's going to be a big ass burger, cheese, meat, tomatoes.
Yeah, pickles.
You guys are the resident Lego fans. Let me ask you this: do you already have a room or a space in your house that Lego resides? You're like, this is my Lego corner.
This is my Lego room.
My Lego lair.
Yeah, my Lego corner is definitely in bad shape. I need to clean it up.
But it's predominant.
It's predominant.
If you had to do a percentage of your home, it's a good 5% of your home.
5? I would say 0.5.
No.
And
do the square footage.
No. Okay, I'll get back to you. Let me get back to you on that one. All right. Anyway, yeah, so they're coming out with the Krusty Burger. It is mercifully $209.99.
Love that.
I was thinking it was going to be like $250 or something. It comes with 1,635 pieces and 7 minifigures.
My God. Who are the figures? Do you know?
Yeah, so it comes with Homer, Lisa, and Bart. Farmer Krusty. Lou. I think it's Lou. The police, the cop. And
captain?
No, not the captain. That's Chief Wiggum.
Sorry.
And then Sideshow Bob. Then that goofy guy who kind of just shows up everywhere, who works behind the Krusty Burger.
Yep.
Talks like, hey, you can't do that. Like, real scratchy voice.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's a fun little... Oh, and you get the, Krusty the Clown version of Homer's car. Just
I love that.
Yeah.
One final question. When will Lego stop?
Never.
Just when will they?
That's starting.
When will they? How dare they keep going?
How dare they keep going? I mean, like I said, I expected this one to be like $250, $300. So maybe they're seeing the light. They're seeing the error of their ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, that comes out June 4th. For
happy birthday, Luis.
Right. Hey, get it for my birthday. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff coming around my birthday. We got the Switch. Get that for me for my birthday. We got this Lego. Get that for me for my birthday. And get me a ticket to Ballerina starring Ana de Armas. Get that for me for my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
No, what I want for my birthday... Okay, what I want for my birthday is for us to just play Fortnite all day. No interruptions.
Okay.
Naked.
No one said that.
Oh.
No one did that.
You said that.
I mean, we'd all be in the comfort of our own home.
I was in the same week, Luis has mentioned, I want a Fortnite birthday, all day birthday. Ed also mentioned that for his birthday, he wants a FIFA tournament.
All day.
Are you
FIFA
fucking
tournament.
serious, Ed?
Yeah.
Kinda. I saw the idea on Instagram today.
No, you saw the idea from me. All right. I talked about Fortnite Instagram, Fortnite birthdays 2 weeks ago. All right. You better start remembering things, Dad, or our friendship is going to be crumbled.
I remember that and my mule hat.
So yeah, that was coming soon corner. Godzilla, Simpsons Lego, not much else. Why don't we get into the big moment of this episode? I feel like we got some trailers that we want to talk. Guys, welcome to the newest segment or whatever, Trailer Talk. All right.
Newish, yeah, sure, yeah.
I'm sorry, we've been doing that. Sorry, I forget it's not new anymore. But Ed, what's this first look on Amazon Prime? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, we got our first little official look, but initially it leaked, and then I think they just went ahead and released it. A first little teaser for Spider-Noir, a little spin-off series based off of the Spider-Noir character from Into the Spider-Verse.
The Spider-Verse movies, yeah.
Played by, or voiced by Nicolas Cage in those films, and being played by Nicolas Cage in the show. It really, really like just a real taste of just the vibe, I guess. It doesn't really get too much into the plot or action, but really just kind of establishes the kind of aesthetic, the vibe, very on brand for Nicolas Cage's character. So yeah, I mean, really just an announcement, but looks like it could be fun. It's definitely got like a kind of almost Sin City vibe to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, yes, yeah. What did you guys think?
I'm excited for it. We've kind of reinvigorated our love for the Spider-Verse movies in our house recently. And I think it's kind of fun that Nicolas Cage, he, of all people, he just seems like the actor that would do this and would kind of pull it off. Like there's a potential for this to be good.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I remember, you remember his character from,
Kick-Ass?
Kick-Ass, yeah, thank you. Like that was a lot of fun, and that seems like a almost similar vibe, you know. His superhero persona that Nicolas Cage does. Anyway.
Can you tell the audience how long this trailer was?
Yeah, it was a amazing 31 seconds from beginning to end.
So if you haven't seen it, carve out some time in your busy schedule and get it done, okay?
Yeah.
When does it come out?
I was just trying to find that, but I could give you a quick synopsis.
Tell us.
I love it, Ed.
All right. Tells the story of an aging and down-on-his-luck private investigator in 1930s New York who is forced to grapple with his past life as the city's one and only superhero. That's that. That's all it gave me.
Love it. Love it.
And that's coming out very soon. Very soon indeed.
Great.
Yeah.
Kind of random, right? Like, I just feel like this is very random. Like, there was the Batman Cape Crusader that came out on Amazon as well. I feel like Amazon is the place where you just dump IP, where it's like, yeah we're not going to put that on our shit, but you could have it.
Well, right now it's saying summer 2026.
Copy.
Copy that, 2026.
All the way in 2026?
Yeah.
Damn. I'm going to forget about it by then. I'm not going to lie. By the time it comes out, I'll be like, they're still doing that?
Yeah. I wonder if they're trying to tie it in with the
movie. That makes sense. But they've already filmed it, or at least most of it, because it was earlier last year that we saw the behind-the-scenes leaked photos. So
maybe it is they're trying to make the most of it and
I get it.
Build up that hype, I guess. Well, there you go.
We have another trailer coming out. This one from the MCU, the official MCU. Okay, not one of those Sony spinoffs. All right.
Yeah.
We're getting a brand new television series from the MCU character Ironheart. All right, we saw her in the Black Panther: Wakanda Forever movie. Okay.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a mixed review as far as her not performance, but like her reveal in that movie, right? Like her big suit by the end of the movie was kind of a little bit of a talking point, a little CGI heavy, kind of silly looking. But She's supposed to be the successor in the comic books of Iron Man, but it feels like in this show they're maybe trying to kind of create her own little niche in the MCU. Okay, not just Iron Man Part 2, but her own iconic character, as she said in this trailer.
Yeah, she does want to be iconic. Yep.
What did you guys think about this trailer? Wait, before that, did you guys know that people were begging for this trailer? It's like for the last 2 months on the internet, people have been talking about like, where the fuck is the Ironheart trailer? This TV show is about to come out. Ryan Coogler's producing it. The success of Sinners, like, why isn't there promotional material for this? And it's almost like the internet bullied the MCU into releasing a trailer 3 weeks before the show came out.
I feel that's pretty standard for like streaming shows, though. No.
This is this had a record of the latest trailer to be released before the premiere. So we've never had a gap this thin,
close,
tight. Yeah, thank you.
Tight,
I love
close,
the synonyms that we have between a show being released and the trailer. And so people were complaining about that, but there was also the theory that they wanted to not pull away from Andor, and Andor actually just it finished on Tuesday, and then I think the trailer came out very soon after that. So I think they were waiting for the Andor run to end.
It's like, hey, finish the good stuff first, and then you got the other stuff for dessert.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's tough because it's like, I feel like Marvel was given this hand. They're like, we're going to do Ironheart, we're going to do Armor Wars, we're going to do Wonder Man. And then midway through, we're like, hey, we're changing our tactics. Do we still have to do this? And they were like, well, we already have contracts out. So we're going to keep doing them, you know? And so it feels like a very, like, I don't know. It feels like 3 years old. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like how it used, like that era of like the Ant-Man Quantumania, even like the Captain America Brave New World feels like of an old era. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like Marvel is trying to pivot and become something new with Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four and even Doomsday. And this just seems like a remnant of the past, if that makes sense.
Of like a previous tactic. You know what I mean? Yeah, I totally understand. Talking about, you mentioned Spider-Noir coming out next year, potentially. I totally forgot Wonder Man was coming out. I think that's December of this year. And that's one of those things that we saw a thing in like January of last year, you know?
Is that still coming out?
Yeah, that's with the, oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. But he was black. Pascal? No, black. The Aquaman bad guy.
It's a good joke. When you think about it, it's a good joke.
Yeah. I know. It probably does star Pedro Pascal. He'll show up in all of these things.
The texture of that show, it does look good. But outside of that, yes, the visual texture of that show looks not bad. At Wonder Man.
Okay. Huh.
But I mean, outside of that, who knows what's going to happen with the script and the writing and the directing? So, it could be rushed. It could be like spinning wheels, but we're talking about Ironheart. Ironheart coming out less than a month.
June 24th.
Yeah. I'm not running to watch it.
I was going to say, we didn't really talk about the trailer. Did anyone feel inspired to...
I can't say I did. Okay. I kind of just feel dead inside whenever I see a MCU TV show now. You know what I mean? Like, this is this feels more like homework in the grand scheme of things.
I agree.
Like a 4-5 hour exercise of the same old.
Yeah.
I'm all for introducing new characters and the newer generation of these superheroes, but I think the series, we've talked about it many times. I think the TV series element has been a very mixed bag and
taxing,
leaning on the side of taxing, convoluting everything. And I think it's like a lame excuse to just like probe to see how audiences respond to new characters. And without the commitment of a movie, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because a lot of these TV shows cost a lot of money. But it's all content, right? So I don't know. I like nothing. I enjoyed that character for the most part. I think Dominique Thorne does a good job. They have Anthony Ramos, I guess it's a villain, maybe.
man,
and Alden Ehrenreich, who I like, but it's more of just like, okay, well,
he's on the Disney payroll.
He's on the Disney payroll. It's like, sorry about Solo, but hey, try this one.
I will say, of all the things in the trailer, Anthony Ramos looked the most basic.
He's wearing a cape.
Yeah, the concept of the whole thing is supposed to be magic versus science. And that's what we're
invisibility cloak.
I will say that did not read very well in the trailer. I thought most of the time when he showed up and was speaking in the trailer, I was like, this feels very flat and just kind of like cliched, like villain dialogue.
Yeah, villain of the week.
Yeah, and overall, other than I saw WandaVision, I watched that whole show. That was one of the earlier series they did.
And it was brilliant.
And Moon Knight, because that was when we first started our podcast. We were watching Moon Knight. And really, other than that, like I just have not been watching the TV shows.
Yeah.
And so this, to both of your points, it feels like a remnant and it feels like homework. I'm not super excited for it, but I do like the character and would like to see her in other things. I think that the way Disney has kind of mentioned it recently is they're shutting down the TV train and are like, no, let's get these people back in movies, because where do we want people? Where do we want the audience? In the theaters,
right?
You know?
And I know I'm going to say something that Miguel isn't going to subscribe to, but it's something that I believe to be true, is that, you know, the way that Deadpool and Wolverine felt outside of kind of what the Marvel movies were, but for a comedy section.
Yeah,
I think that Daredevil does that for the drama section, that it doesn't really feel like it's part of the family, maybe because it had a life outside of it with Netflix.
Sure.
But also, like, you know, a lot of the show is just very much, a lot of Disney Plus shows can be very, I don't know, surface level and just kind of get plot point where, you know, and I'd love to have Steven on for the podcast at one point, but, you know, as I watch Daredevil, there is some kind of deeper truth that it's trying to portray. And even though it may not have the budget or the, you know, quality of a movie, I think Daredevil is trying to say something, which other Disney Plus shows may not be trying to say something.
Sure.
So maybe the execution is cinema-like, but I think they are attempting and trying to focus on, you know, details and pertinent things that are important to our life. So I think Daredevil is an outlier in all this, but you know, outside of all that, yes, it does feel like almost like, what was the other show with the one with Kingpin? Not Hawkeye, Echo. You know, it's just like Echo. It's like that feels like a homework type of show as well.
Didn't watch it, you know?
Like, on the off chance that these characters make like a 5-minute appearance in the next Avengers movie, you know?
Yeah.
And what's the movie going to do when they show up? They're going to be like, oh, and by the way, this is XYZ character.
Right.
And they've gone through this trauma.
Which is so crazy because, you know, we released an episode about Andor and talking about that experience and how it's almost the opposite of like how Andor did for the movie. You know, it's like this whole strategy of like the show to the movie, and then we expect the same treatment for like Echo or Hawkeye or for whatever
if that
have that kind of impact in the movie as well. But it's not, you know, it's hard to make movies. It's hard to dedicate your time and detail on these things when you're just trying to pump stuff out, you know, and make it into a business. And that's just the reality.
Make it a cohesive piece as opposed to just kind of scrambling and throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks, which is generally how most of the Marvel shows have felt. You might have like a singular character show up through all three or something to keep them as a part of a whole, a bigger whole, but they're just, it's thin.
I think there was, as far as like the Kevin Feige goes and not the Disney Corporation, I feel like there was some good intention in trying to expand the Marvel Universe to include new characters and stuff like that. But I think just the reality of just time and resources, it doesn't allow for something like that.
Yeah,
it's like, I remember when we had 2 Marvel movies a year and then it expanded to 3 or 4 and we were all like, whoa, that's a lot. And, you know, there was that one year where we had like 3 and then 2 Disney shows. And it was like, yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you pull too many resources.
Oversaturate, you know?
Yeah. I think the idea of like exploring new characters and trying to, discover new storylines is very interesting, but it's just poor timing and unfortunate the way that, the current state of streaming and TV and resources are just allocated. Like, it didn't work, and that's unfortunate. And there was potential, but we just got to take the L.
Here, take the L.
You guys don't seem very hopeful. All right, on the Marvel TV. Speaking of hope, all right, let's talk about something we are hopeful about. Okay, I feel like a lot of people are hey guys, eyes up here. All right, we're excited for this new movie coming out this year from the DCU, the official DCU first movie. James Gunn's Superman dropped the newest trailer. This is the official trailer for Superman. The previous one was the teaser. I'm hearing they're calling that a teaser. This one's the official one. I previously on this podcast, pretty sure I said I wasn't going to watch it, and then I got peer pressured into watching it. And by peer pressure, I mean someone mentioned it, and I said, "Fuck, I got to watch it." All right.
Yeah.
But the Superman trailer came out the same day as Ironheart. I watched both these trailers today, both a couple times each. But the Superman one just really kind of won me over. I'm super excited about it. I think this was a really great cast. I do have a couple of like slight reservations, but I'll kind of wait to see how they turn out when the movie comes out. As far as like, there's a lot of people in this movie. There's a lot of characters in this movie.
Yeah.
But overall, I think this looks like a really fun, action-packed, heartfelt superhero movie, which is something that people are
hoping for,
kind of wanting.
Hoping.
When this trailer came out today, you guys watch it. What did you guys think?
I was stronger than you. I didn't watch it. I didn't give in to peer pressure. I said from the last trailer, I think I'm good. Like, I get it.
Sure.
Actually, I think you guys just had to talk me into liking the first trailer.
Okay.
But now that I'm there, I'm like, I don't need to watch it.
All right, cool. So this is where Luis says he didn't watch it either.
Well, I think the thing is to explain is like, there is a method to the madness here, because Superman coming back is a completely reinvention, a new skin, a new everything. And, I want to be surprised. I kind of want to have that cinematic experience of learning something new. So I didn't watch this trailer yet either, just because I don't want to set expectations. But when you have like other Marvel movies outside of Fantastic Four, when you have those movies, you're like, oh, I've seen this before. So it's like, I understand the vibe of it all. But the Superman, it's like a new beginning to DC, to everything. And I just want to have a very pure and genuine reaction, even though I did see one trailer, maybe two. And I probably will end up seeing it in theaters anyway, unfortunately. So like I said, I don't want to, experience the trailer. I want to just see the movie.
Fair point. All right. Well, that's our trailer talk. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Go out and see Superman when it comes out later this year. It's going to be one of the best ones of the summer, I think. Let's get into our feature discussion. Luis, this is a topic you wanted to talk about.
That's right. This discussion, basically, the company NRG, National Resource Group, they've been asking this question to people for the past 2 years. I think they ask it every quarter. They basically ask a group of people, hey, name 5 actors that would make you want to go to the movies. And they're able to utilize and share this information. And so recently they just did a study again, and there was a whole list released. I messaged it to the group chat. As you can tell, I'm in a car. I can't discuss it. But if somebody on the group chat can kind of, say the top 10 actors, all I can say is that the trend is typically older male actors are the type of people that people want to see, and that the under 40 female are, at the 30th level, when we got our Zendayas, our Jennifer Lawrence, things like that.
Hang on. You're jumping ahead of yourself as far as other people's lists potentially. Okay. But I do want to say that when I to tag onto your point though, when I was coming up with my list, that was something that I really tried to challenge myself. Was I listed 10 actors and I went, okay, why are they all males? Why are they all white? Why are they all like established? You know, like what are the other actors that actually get me to go see these movies? So I think that's a very interesting point that it's like, wow, you kind of like have these defined lists. In fact, Luis, let me read these top 10 to you real quick because you were mentioning that. I'm going to go from number 1 to number... No, I'll do 10 to number 1, okay? 10 to 1. 10, Leonardo DiCaprio. 9, Keanu Reeves. 8, Luis, Kevin Hart. 7, Will Smith. 6, Tom Hanks. 5, Ryan Reynolds. 4, Brad Pitt. 3, The Rock. 2, Tom Cruise. And number 1, Denzel Washington. And on this list, these are the top 10 actors that seem to put people to get butts in their seats. So...
And I mean, I'm only speaking to the list as well. Like, I'm not trying to spoil anything, but, the question is under 40. Females seem to be doing a lot better with Zendaya, Jennifer Lawrence, and Ortega. They seem to, peak a little bit higher for people's interests. For people like in the Gen Z audience, like people gravitate towards Jack Black. But if you had to pick somebody under 40, the male audience is a little bit harder, but you have your Timothy Chalamet, your Tom Holland, and Michael B. Jordan, as well as Twisters. What's his name?
Glenn Powell,
who is not as high as we expect, but he is inching his way as far as like. But
I'll tell you this, Luis, you did not ask us to pick the 5 actors that we in our Gen Z counterparts want to go see.
No,
you asked us. You asked us to pick the 5 actors that would get us to go see these movies in theaters.
Yes.
And so we put together some lists. All right. Do we want to do all 5 at once?
Yeah,
okay,
I think so. Just to keep it easy.
Nice. Now, Luis, you're driving. Do you want to go first or last?
I'll go last.
Last, nice and easy.
He always goes last.
Ed, do you want to go first or do you want to go second?
Yeah, fuck it. I'll go first. Let's see what the vibe is.
These are, again, maybe some Gen Z actors, maybe not, but that was not the original question posed to us, okay?
No, indeed.
So, Ed, who are your 5 actors, and I'm using that term generally, okay?
The first one I'm going to reference is topical, both for me recently and also in the news recently, which we didn't mention. But
love it.
A very favorite actor of, I believe, all of ours and indeed our generation might be coming back to the big screen this year, and that is Daniel Day-Lewis.
Wow. You're aging us really hard right now, okay? Especially
ladies and gentlemen.
Luis can't start the conversation being like Gen Z, and then you'd be like Daniel Day-Lewis.
If that was like if you guys had told me that, then maybe I would have thought harder on it. But this really
I'm just saying, like, obviously we're not Gen Z. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we are not. Yeah. We are not Gen Z, right? We're not. We're much older than that. I've got gray hair and sagging balls.
Stop.
I think out of all of us, I have the most gray hair. I'm the Mr. Fantastic of the group. You know what I mean?
The sexy
silver
one,
fox. Silver fox.
Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis is the sexy one. Okay.
At this point, at this stage, even like before his second retirement, if he's doing a movie, I'm showing up. Secondly, because he always keeps it interesting, Joaquin Phoenix. I was thinking back, like, probably the last 5 or so movies he's done have been like must see for me in whatever capacity. You know what I mean? Like, he's got one coming out this year, Eddington. I'm looking forward to seeing that. He always brings an interesting performance, whether or not you like his movies. Anyway, Kate Blanchett.
Nice.
Because she brings a certain level of quality. I've already seen her once this year in Black Bag. She was, as good as ever. And she's in that point in her career where she can do whatever the fuck she wants, and it'll be.
Did you watch Borderlands?
No.
Okay.
That's a rare example of some shit. going along with that, Kate Winslet. I love me some Kate Winslet. That's my spirit actor, I think. And then my fifth one was more of a toss-up. And the wild card that I went with, because it is mostly true right now, is one person I will go out of my way to see who's, again, doing interesting stuff right now is Robert Pattinson.
Oh, I thought about him. Yeah.
That's probably as close to Gen Z as I'm going to get, but and he's
not.
And he's not. But he's doing some really interesting roles, and the last few have been exciting to say the least.
Yes.
So, yeah.
He's definitely turned into that kind of must-see actor,
Yeah, like, what is he going to do next kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's got one coming out this year from Lynn Ramsey with Jennifer Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good. Hang on. Sorry, I'm going to pull it up real quick. Robert Pattinson.
Yes. Yes.
Obviously, he had Mickey 17 just recently, but where the fuck is it? Die My Love. So that looks good. So yeah, Robert Pattinson. How about you guys? Let's move on.
It's top 5. I love that. So I kind of said this in our text earlier. My top 5, what I really just tried to be open and honest with myself is, you guys know me, I don't rush to the theater for almost no reason. You know what I mean? There's really no draw to the theater for me. I kind of just go see the movies that we're supposed to see on the podcast. And maybe there's like a couple that I want to see, but it's not necessarily like the actor is drawing me there. But I did make a list, and because I thought these are the actors that if they're in a movie, I'm for sure going to see it almost without seeing a trailer. Okay. And so I had, these are in no specific order. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and shout them out real quick. First off, if Christian Bale's in a movie, I'm going to go see it. Okay.
Nice.
One of the main reasons is because Christian Bale just does different things. He's an actor who is established and has been around for forever, but can also still do interesting and new things and something different than what he did in the last movie. And I think that's really important. So if Christian Bale's in a movie, I'm probably going to go see it in theaters. Guys, we're talking about actresses. Elizabeth Olsen. If Elizabeth Olsen's in a movie, I'm going to go see it. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah. And you know what? Again, I was sitting here thinking, exactly, Ed. You got it. All right.
I did get
right away. All right. Maybe she's not in every movie. Maybe she's not in 10 movies in a decade.
She is.
But if Elizabeth Olsen is in a movie, I'm gonna go see it. Okay.
Good. Did you see?
I did.
All of his daughters, or whatever.
I did.
His 3 daughters.
I did see that.
Year?
Yeah, I saw it.
I did.
On Netflix.
I did. And we're not going to ask these questions as we go through the list.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah. I didn't realize he was number 1 on the list, but this was, very established, been around for decades, and I was just sitting there thinking, if he's in a movie, like, come on, you guys. If Denzel Washington's in a movie, I'm gonna go see it. Okay. He's very good. I never saw Gladiator, but I saw Gladiator 2, and that was a shame.
Wait, are you serious? You've never seen the first Gladiator movie?
I said we're not asking questions. Okay. I will throw this one out there. This is another one on the same caliber as Christian Bale. And when this was actually the 5th choice I put on the list, and I was initially hesitant. I didn't want to put him on here. But then I looked at his IMDb tonight and I said, oh, fuck, I really did go see his last 5 movies in theaters every time they came out. But they don't come out every year. So that's why it kind of took me a while to remember it. But you guys, it's kind of a basic bitch answer. But Leonardo DiCaprio, if he's in a movie, I'm going to go see it because I have a track record of seeing his movies in theaters.
That's true.
Guys, this is a newer one for me, but you guys know how much I kind of fell in love the last couple of years. But if Zendaya is in a movie, you guys, I'm going to go see it. All right. So that's my top 5: Christian Bale, Elizabeth Olsen, Denzel, Leonardo, and Zendaya. Okay. So I did get a little Gen Z right there at the end, but
yeah. Ooh.
Can only do so much, you guys. I'm an old man.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually really difficult for me. When I posed this question to you, I was super nervous because I was like, I don't even know what that is for me. There was a point in this conversation where we said, oh, what about directors? could we talk about directors, which is a whole other conversation, but I wanted to keep it true to this study, and I wanted to challenge myself. And even now, it's difficult to say what my top 5 are. Maybe I'm not being true to myself, but I can say at least possibly 3 actors as of right now. Okay. And I don't know what that says about me, but the first one I'm going to say, somebody who I think just is like, man, what a cool guy. He's got charisma. He just performs so naturally and is just himself. And it's just, how do you do what you do? He's a personality actor. It's not a Daniel Day-Lewis type of actor. You know, it's just him being him. And I'm talking about Brad Pitt himself. Ever since I was young, Brad Pitt is like, the way he just like naturally, organically can perform is just captivating to me. I'm just like, man, you are effortlessly doing this. And that's just something I was glued to. So yeah.
I don't want to overtalk you, but I almost put Brad Pitt on my list as well. And it was kind of like Leonardo DiCaprio or Brad Pitt. I don't want to put them both on the list. You know what I mean?
And you know what? That's the kind of conversation I was having with myself as well.
Yeah.
So then the second person who I find to be also just charismatic and not trying, but also like fits the rom-com vibe a little bit. We haven't seen her a lot lately, but if she's in something, man, I just have, I don't know, a little crush on her. Sandra Bullock. Like,
okay.
You put Sandra Bullock in a movie, and I'm like, you know what? I don't give a fuck what the plot is. I'm ready to see what's going on, you know? I don't know what it is.
She definitely like ran Hollywood for like a certain era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And still can pop up and have that gravitas, you know, she can add something to a film. There was definitely a time when I was rushing to see Sandra Bullock in a theater for sure.
Oh yeah.
And it's been a minute, and you know, God bless her for like saying I'm done or I'm taking a break or whatever. That last movie she had with Daniel, it was her and Brad Pitt in the same movie. So yeah, that was good. And then the third person who I also think that I can see how people think he's pushing, but I actually think, well, listen, I like his older films. I'm going to say Jack Black. I like Jack Black. I think he's funny. I think he's just like...
You kind of like soft sold him earlier. You were like, Gen Z's also into Jack Black. Not me. Someone else.
I just think, I don't know. I just think he's like, you know, the way like people can be over the top and it's like, oh, you're pushing and I don't like the way you're doing. But I feel like to him, for me, he speaks to me and I'm just like, you know what? I get it. And I think you're funny. And, you know what? Is it always going to be a bullseye? No, but I don't know, man. We're seeing primal answers right now, right?
I agree.
And it's going to be Jack Black for me.
I hadn't really thought about Jack Black as far as this category, but when you mention it, it's like I really have seen the last few Jack Black movies in theaters, and my wife and I both like him. Forrest has come around to really liking him because of like Minecraft and Mario. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, you know what? Like if Jack Black's in a movie, and arguably he's becoming like one of like the box office hits. Like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, oh my God, fucking Gamora. Why am I blanking on her name? Zoe Saldana. You know, whether you think she's a phenomenal actress or not, she's been in like what 5 different billion-dollar movies. Like exactly. Like people show up for her, and Jack Black is kind of becoming that in this like late stage in his career.
Totally.
As someone that is goofy and silly, but he puts butts in seats.
But and I just think the way he is big and silly is also, for me, I read it as like, I see a lot of thoughts going in his head, and that's what I always like from an actor. Like if an actor can give me a lot of thoughts and valleys with what he's saying, then you've kind of got me. And I feel like even though he's being big and over dramatic with some of his roles, he's thinking things. and I'm riding that wave with him as he's thinking things, and while he's being big and honest and genuine.
And I feel like you're not a Jack Black fan in general, but let
Right,
me ask
I know
you this.
that.
One of the movies that I feel like I've heard you mention a lot, at least in our younger days, was of King Kong. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you think about Jack Black and King Kong?
He's actually my least favorite thing about it.
All right, cool. I set myself up for that. All right. I thought I was doing so. I thought I was cooking with that.
That was
didn't
like
work.
one of those moments that kind of reaffirmed my dislike for him.
Have you seen
then.
Have you seen Minecraft
Yeah,
yet?
and like I didn't like Jack Black in that movie either, in King Kong. I don't think that he fit. I think he was miscast, and I think that
Most
the whole
of the
direction
time
he
he's
was
just like staring.
And I think he was just.
No, that's cool.
I don't think that he was
what I
directed well
realized
for
right
that
now is
one.
I shouldn't have reached in the bag for that one. I thought I was doing something.
I thought you were
okay?
going to say Bernie, which was the one.
Well, Bernie was
I do
good.
like.
You liked that. Let's see, but I haven't heard you talk about that movie basically ever. So
It's not like
Fair
my
enough.
favorite movie or anything. It's like
no,
a
you
3-star
said you liked
film.
it the most. No, yeah,
Yeah.
5-star here.
Kung Fu Panda, brilliant.
Wow, that's a fair point though. He did make that movie, you know.
He did, but I
Made a
like
lot of
seeing
them.
his. I like seeing his eyes. You know, like that's kind of the big thing for me.
I bring up Minecraft, Ed, just because a lot of his line reads in that feel very Jack Black. Like it's like, of course,
Playing
Jack
to the
Black
height
is
of
doing
his
it.
ability.
But yeah, he cranks it up in some of these lines. It's like you can't help but quote them because it's like no one else would have said it like that. You know,
There is one person who I would argue is kind of a similar status, similar gravitas, similar charm. That maybe in hindsight, might have had him in my top 5. But these days, anytime Ryan Gosling has something coming out,
you do like Ryan Gosling.
People like Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
He is a
They make a lot of money for Fall Guy, but
well.
But Ed went and thought, and this is not the same conversation, but Ed also watched Gray Man, okay? And he was one of the few.
I went to the theater to go see Gray Man.
Oh my God, you saw that in theaters?
Yes, I did.
You should have put Ryan Gosling on that
Yeah,
list.
you should have Ryan Gosling
That's
in
a
there,
strong
yeah.
answer for
I
you.
did, yeah. I'm a sucker. I mean, like, he's just so fucking charming. You know, Barbie only solidified that kind of. But like, he could also do interesting turns, like in First Man, Blade Runner 2049. I'm going to mention La La Land, even though a majority of this podcast do not like that movie, and that's okay. But damn it, if he wasn't charming in that too.
I'm honestly surprised.
The Nice Guys was like, people love him for that.
yeah.
Why wasn't he on your list?
Because I don't know.
Who was your wild card again?
Robert Pattinson.
Baby.
I know. Can I just take it back? Maybe I'll just switch him out for Robert Pattinson. How about that? Sorry.
I mean, no offense to Rob Pat.
No, Robert,
right?
but like the fact that I even mentioned Robert.
No,
on
Robert.
this
Listen,
list,
we're not trying to.
Please come back for the Batman.
Robert, baby.
And the thing is like there are some incredible actors that we're not naming, but for some reason it's just like there's an it factor. It's a very personal thing where like they speak to us in a certain way where we want to go see them. And they've been touched by so many good actors where I don't know, maybe because they haven't been cast in all the movies I want to see. Who knows? But this is the list, you know. It's weird.
I think
this is a weird thing.
It's a more of a subconscious draw to it. Like Miguel, you were pointing out how you have, like, looking back retrospectively, you have been to see basically every Leonardo DiCaprio film that's come out.
Yeah.
And whether you think about that, but like when his movie comes around, it usually is like a statement piece. You know, you're just like, oh, what is he? You know, what's the next project he's a part of? If it's not a Martin Scorsese film, then you're wondering like,
who's he working with?
Exactly. Like, you've got especially like these big Hollywood names like that, or Brad Pitt. You know, there's always that keen interest in the next project. Like F1 was kind of like the big next project for Brad Pitt. Run, Luis, run!
No, Luis, do it outside. You look amazing. That happy hour glow right now on you, dude. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
God. So just to clarify, Luis, you do not have anyone else. You have a top 3.
I mean, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I could say some things like, listen,
like a woman.
Like, let me think of no, like there are things that I could say. Like, these are the people that I also were in my head. Kate Blanchett was somebody that always is like flawless. I'd love to see her. Leonardo DiCaprio, another person who I would love to see. We talk about Ryan Gosling, but somebody who has actually been catching my attention as of late, and she's had kind of a sour film record, sort of, but she's capturing my attention with The Last of Us. Is Isabel Merced.
Oh, she's blowing up right now. She's one of those Gen Zers that you could talk about. Yeah.
Well, the way, like, when I'm watching the show, I'm just like,
damn, I wish I'd seen Dora.
I was like, well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, she's not great in, like, I haven't seen Dora, and she was, like, weird in Madame
She's a standout in Alien Romulus, though.
In Alien Romulus, yeah. In Alien Romulus, she was in it. And then, like, but when I see her in Last of Us, I'm just like, whoa, you are so, that's like that Brad Pitt charismatic of just like, you are so, like effortless about just being charismatic.
She shines on screen. And I think her being in Superman is, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I forgot she's in Superman too.
Yeah.
Wait, is she?
Yeah, she's Hot Girl.
Oh, wow.
She's really
and if you watch the latest trailers, she's a little more prominently featured.
Word.
Guys, that was our feature discussion. What an episode! Okay,
hey,
we're wrapping up here with this last couple of thoughts. Are we going to do it really quick? You want to do what we're into real quick?
Yeah, Miguel, for the love of God, tell us what you've been into.
I just feel like every week I feel like, God, I've just been doing the same goddamn thing again.
Don't say Outlander.
I'm loving Outlander.
Fuck it.
Okay.
Damn it.
No, I tell you what, we've been off of Outlander and we've kind of got back into it the last couple of weeks. We've been off of it, sorry, but this last week we've got back into it. And it has been really good. This latest season we're watching is season 6, and they have surprised us. It's like they've been around long enough that they're like, we have to do something different. Like, we watched a horror episode. They randomly were like, we're going to switch up genres. And it was actually pretty good.
What is this, Community?
But anyway, Outlander is pretty good. God, they're so hot. I've been playing the new season of Fortnite. It's been a lot of fun. The Star Wars season.
Yeah, killing it.
It is just one of those things where I've said it a million times. I just really do not resonate with Star Wars, but for some reason, when it's in a video game format, I have a ton of fun. So I've been having a lot of fun.
Imagine if Andor was the video game.
I know, and I'd probably play it. I'm gonna watch it, you guys. But my house, the last real quick thing that I'm into is my son has just recently got back into Spider-Man, and that happened because I re-downloaded Spider-Man 2, and I started like a new game plus. And so my son was playing it with me. He's watching me. He likes to swing around the city, and then when we play the story and like it gets to be violent, he hands me the controller. He's like, "Daddy, you play." And because of that, we started watching like Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse. We have a couple of Spider-Man outfits in the house, and so he's been dressing up like him a lot lately. And so that's kind of what I've been into. It's like Outlander is me and my wife, Fortnite is me and my friends, Spider-Man is me and my son. And I've just been kind of having like a, not what I'm into, but like what we're into. You know what I mean?
Well, that's nice. Yeah.
And that brings us to our what we're into. Ed, what are you into right now?
Oh, let me remind myself. Oh, yes. So this weekend, coming to all theaters, or most, is the Tim Robinson-led Friendship, new comedy that's out. And I got to see a sneak preview on Monday.
Okay, fancy boy.
Yeah. All I had to do was pay the regular price of the ticket. No, I have an unlimited.
I'm with Punch Drunk Nerd. Okay.
And so, yes, for the sneak preview, they also featured a little pre-recorded Q&A at the end of it, which I'll tell you guys in a moment. But yes, if you are a fan of Tim Robinson, we've talked about his show Detroiters, and I Think You Should Leave.
I think you should leave.
He was also like had a brief stint on SNL, but he has a very particular sense of humor. But if you're a fan of either one of those shows, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I think that is also the best way to kind of describe this film as just like a long, and not in a necessarily a bad way, but like it's like a series of skits tied together.
I love
sketches.
Yeah, and sketches. I'm sorry. And it was it was one of those movies that was just like a consistent giggle fest from start to finish. Like, it was just funny.
Oh my god!
throughout.
I know a theater hates to see you giggling, dude. I bet you were tears in your eyes.
Everybody was giggling, though. It wasn't just me. It was everybody giggling. Okay,
I love it. Not full blown laughter, but just like a whole theater being like,
yeah. I mean, it was basically that.
That's funny.
It was a good time. I think it was like an hour and 40
Love
minutes.
Love it.
Paul Rudd is in it. Kate Mara, randomly enough. But man, yeah, there are some really funny bits to it, and probably just my algorithm. But the less you see, I think, the better.
Sure.
Especially with comedies.
In the words of Tame Impala, yeah, the less you know, the better.
Just like give away a lot of the gags, so you just kind of go into it, just ready to enjoy yourself. It was a lot of fun. The Q&A, since it's not going to be at the end of every film, every showing, I will say it was inexplicably, they shot it in the dark and filmed it with infrared cameras just for fun.
Just why?
Yeah, it was hilarious at the end. I guess the producer of whoever was filming, she was just like, "Oh yeah, this is the cameras they used for Dune Part 2." And that's the note they end on, and that's it. So like, if that gives you any inkling of just like the kind of shit they get into, but no, it's a good time, and yeah, like comedy, like a good comedy in theaters is so rare these days. You know what I mean? I feel like.
It's fun when you can experience it. With
an audience. Like, it was nice to be there with, and it was a sold out theater, so much so that they did an extra screening of it that night. So yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. And if you're a big Tim Robinson fan, it's definitely like a win for you.
I'd love to see a Tim Robinson and Nathan Fielder project.
I was going to say,
can you imagine?
The both of you would be insufferable. Okay?
Sprinkle it with some Will Forte, and baby, you got a stew.
Forte. Yeah. I know. Luis, they just came out with a new pope, but you're feeling like a sinner.
I've been watching Beep. That's been my thing. Just a lot of Beep. And, I've been gone for a week. I was at, I guess what we're into, I was in PAX East. It happened in Boston, and I was there for work. A lot of indie developers showed up. And the biggest thing that I noticed going to this indie developer thing was the return of couch co-ops. A lot of people came back and they were like, hey, after COVID, I wanted to create a game where we can all just play together. And so, I witnessed a lot of people, a lot of cool stuff. So hopefully once that comes about, if you're in the indie development or indie world of video games, they're typically cheaper. And, stay tuned in the next year or two. There's going to be some more couch co-op games for y'all. But outside of that, just Veep. And, the thing is, I've been catching up on Mission Impossible because we're going to do a Mission Impossible ranking. And then, catching up Andor, catching up on Last of Us, just like the standard kind of stuff. But what I will say is I'm going to start watching Final Destination, and I'm going to do a ranking of that once that comes around for Bloodline.
I love it, dude. I love that. Just a real quick touch. I have started watching Mission Impossible. I did watch the first. I'm going to say the first two movies. Okay.
So I'm
in the middle of the second one right now.
So you haven't finished the first one?
I haven't. No, I finished the first one. I finished it. Right. I'm in the middle of the second one.
I'm gonna go ahead and just address what me and Miguel were alluding and hoping for.
I thought,
Luis, motherfucker, a couple of weeks ago, you finally saw Sinners in theaters. You had not seen it at the time that me and Miguel talked about it. So I want to know what your fucking thoughts were.
Oh, I mean, just, the same that you guys thought. That's it.
I don't buy that.
Right now. I'm so mad. I set you up perfectly because on the notes here it says sinners and nothing else. If you had wrote literally anything else,
I put sinners in because I know you've seen it, motherfucker.
I'm just saying, I'm reading the document, and all I was doing was going off of that.
Miguel, you did set it up perfectly.
I thought so.
You should read the document, but also just tell us what the fuck you thought of this film.
You know what? I loved it. It's a movie where I wanted to rewatch it afterwards. And I thought it was, you know what? I think it's one of Michael B. Jordan's best performances.
It is.
And I thought there were some really just like, this is iconic cinema moments, especially when the barn scene and when they're doing the dancing stuff. Like there are things that you haven't seen before, and the way that he was able to capture that essence visually, and through their performances was just like wonderful. You know what I loved? This is what I can say. I loved how they were able to set up all the characters up top for the first half of the movie, so that when you were able to kick into the second half, you actually cared about them and what was happening to them, which is super important, because why are we doing this if we don't care about the actors, the characters in the first place?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think if you put that strategy, which is like, you need to do that in movies, but the way he really did that for the first half, I think that if someone tried to do that in other hands, it could end up executing as something as boring or slow or shallow. And the way he was able to capture depth and meaning for some of these characters, it was very effective, because there's not a lot of action that happens in that first half. But when things do kick off, anything that happens with anybody, you're like, oh no. And you feel for them. And I think this is a wonderful explanation. Listen, I think it's a wonderful exploration of Black culture and like understanding that perspective and seeing that in a new light and seeing it through music. And it was, I saw it in IMAX, and the IMAX of it all was really beautiful. And I will say, like, every time I go see an IMAX movie, from this movie to one other IMAX movie, man, IMAX format just looks fucking beautiful compared to when they cut back to like 35 millimeter version. It's just like, you got to the 35 and it's like, whoa, it's kind of fuzzy. And then you look at the IMAX and it's like clear. This is saturation. Yeah.
Frustrating, because Luis will tell you all day long how you should go see a Dolby movie. But he sees the movie, he sees that same movie in IMAX and he goes, why didn't you see it in IMAX?
Well, no, because the thing is that like their movies aren't typically shot on IMAX cameras. They're formatted for IMAX. What that means is they'll shoot for lower res cameras, and then they will upscale it for IMAX. So it's not true IMAX, but he does true IMAX. What's it called? Christopher Nolan does true IMAX. And so when they utilize actual IMAX cameras, I think Jordan Peele did it for Nope as well. But when they utilize actual film cameras for that, I want to see the 1-to-1 comparison of like, we shot it here, I want to see it there. But like when you saw the Batman, you know, he said watch it in Dolby, because he didn't shoot IMAX, but it was made for a Dolby experience, because Dolby delivers those clear blacks. I mean, if I'm able to blend the two, I would. And that would be the most perfect cinema experience of all time.
Not me trying to be funny, and Luis said, no, excuse me, I'm talking. All right. All right, I get it. Man, you guys, what an episode. You guys have so much more you're going to talk about this week. We have not only this episode, but a whole separate episode that you guys are going to talk about I'll let you guys talk about it in there.
We've already released an episode about Andor.
Exactly. I don't want to overtalk it, because we've been doing it. Thank you guys for listening. Luis, I've been your host tonight, Miguel, but with me is
Ed Bull.
And me, Luis Gonzalez.
And you guys, later, babies. All right. Or whatever we say.
Huzzah.
All right.
Huzzah.
All right. Bye.